Hey everybody, it's Ravi from CSF, and today we are at Group N Garage with Albert and his techs and his staff, and we're going to be installing our new dual engine oil cooler kit for the Honda FL5 Civic Type R. We got your track focused Civic here. This thing's got everything on it already. It's got a CSF radiator, PRL intercooler, tons of mods that I'm looking at. It's really nicely set up, and I think you guys are really going to appreciate and benefit from our new engine oil cooler kit.
I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to get that on the car. We have tracked the car, pushed it, done a few laps here and there, but with this cooler kit, we do expect to be out there longer, which is the benefits of this kit.
Today, this video is going to be a step-by-step installation of how to do it. We're going to show you how to cut the bumper for all the people who have been a little apprehensive about, hey, how do I do this, especially the DIY guys. We're going to show you how easy it is with the included installation templates. We're going to get this kit installed in a couple hours. We have the entire kit laid out. First thing you're going to see are the two carbon fiber 2x2 twill ducts with the integrated mesh. These are a little different than the ones you're going to get with the kit. You guys actually took it a step further and put a matte clear on these to kind of match your guys' spoiler, your mirrors, and everything else you have going on in the car. You guys did an excellent job. The ones that you're going to get from CSF are gloss carbon fiber, but just like the guys at Group N Garage have done, you can easily send these out to a body shop for a couple $100, get this done in, like a matte clear. So
give us a call.
Yeah, or give them a call, as you can buy the whole kit from Group N as well. So these are the two ducts, really high quality, integrated mesh into it. We went through a lot of different prototypes to make sure it fit really nicely on the bumper. There's no double-sided tape needed with the installation of this.
I did notice that.
It fits really, really nicely, and all the hardware that integrates with washers, it goes form press right to the bumper. We actually have two different templates that are supplied with the kit. So it already comes printed. It comes in a nice binder so it doesn't get bent. One's for the US cars, and then the one's for the rest of the world's cars that have the PDC parking sensor. It's all listed in the instructions. You pick the one that you want to use for your installation, and it's already printed to scale, so you don't have to do any guesswork of printing out the template and wondering if you got it right. And it's easy to kind of cut and put right onto the bumper.
You literally took the guesswork out of it.
People are cutting their bumper. They may have not done this for the first time. We want to really break down those walls and give people confidence that they can do this in their garage or any qualified shop like you guys.
Or even someone like me.
Exactly. The heart of the oil cooler kit are the two engine oil coolers. This is something that's been tried and proven. I think you noticed that we sell these to Honda as well.
I was going to say, a little birdie told me, aren't these the same ones that the HRC cars run?
Absolutely. So we've been working with HRC, HPD before that. These are the same coolers that are on their FK8 TCR cars, as well as some of the new DE5 cars that they've put out on track. So
nice.
Really beefy bar and plate. You can bang on it. It can take rock chips. You don't have to worry about any puncturing of the tubes. Also an off-the-shelf part from CSF. So if you ever have to replace just the oil cooler, if you get in an accident or a fender bender, you don't have to worry about getting the whole kit. You can go online or call you and get just the oil cooler kit, which is part number 8119. These are the louvered fender liner ducts. Also come with a template. It's to get all the exit air behind the cooler out of the car. This is something that was one of the last pieces of the R&D puzzle. A lot of people don't realize when it comes to good airflow, you need somewhere for the air to go. So that's what these fender liners are. It comes with all the nuts and bolts. It's just like IKEA. Everything's listed with a part number. There's a really nice bill of materials list at the front of the instruction sheet. So you have everything that you need to be able to kind of just install the kit step by step. This is a sandwich plate that is bespoke, made for us by Dime PSI, who is also the developer of this patented quick release system on the lines.
I did know
so
this.
You have the fittings here, and then you have the lines. This is in our signature red and black, so it's made specifically for us in these colors. And yeah, why don't you pop this on and show people how nice it is.
Look at that, simple.
Yeah. So the neon yellow O-ring is actually just a marker, so when you don't see it, you know it's been fully engaged. So that's just like a safety check. So it's really well thought of. We've been working with Brendan over there. He's become a really good friend and partner for us. The lines are sick. And then the other side is a super high quality, low clearance banjo fitting. All motorsports grade plumbing. They're crimping these for us. So it's kind of comes as a kit ready to go. All the lines have been tested and real high quality. So, back to the sandwich plate. It's got an integrated NPT sensor. So if you want to run any other parameters, if you want to measure oil temp from the filter housing, you can do that. Really nice, thermostat that really actually opens and closes. So you can get up to temp when you need, and it does the trick. This is a windshield washer reservoir replacement. We have an oil cooler that sits in the right side of the vehicle, kind of where the plastic bottle is. So this allows you to retain your functionality of your windshield washer, but also has a little bit low clearance. It's plug and play, goes right in, and you can still hold quite a bit of fluid into this. Closer to you are all the brackets that are to install the 2 oil coolers on the each side of the car. That pretty much sums up the kit. We include some Velcro to kind of make sure the lines are all held together against the chassis. Don't have to worry about it rubbing it into any belts. This is our most ambitious kit. You know, CSF never made carbon ducts or any of some of these other components, so we're really proud of what we've come up with, and we're excited to see what your guys' experience is in installing this kit.
The last time I did an oil cooler kit, we had to put chicken wire back there to make sure we could provide nice venting. But yeah, even the Velcro, I mean, who thinks of the Velcro? So literally, this is top notch. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. Like, this is just perfect. I can't wait to put it on the car.
Step 1, we're gonna skip over, which is simply just removing the bumper. In the instruction manual, it's got the simple instructions of which bolts to take off and how to remove it. If you can't remove your bumper on your FL5, you should probably not install this kit. Take it to a shop. So, you know, that's a disclaimer. That's a little bit of a safety check. And the next step is going to be how to cut the bumpers.
So we're starting off on the back side of the bumper now. We're gonna remove these 3 Phillip bolts. We're gonna do the driver side and also the passenger side. These are gonna come off because the vents are gonna be directly here. After that, we'll move to the front and we'll start setting up the templates for you guys. And then we're gonna show you actually how to do the cut as best as possible. And we'll just go from there. I just have a Phillips. You can use a hand one. I'm using an electric. Put it in reverse. This is just gonna pop out like this. You heard the little clip. And then this side, same thing. So you'll see you have these little holders that goes actually inside the bumper. And that's pretty much it. This is off. And now we'll do the driver's side and we'll continue.
So this is the template that we provide with the kit. It's already printed, it's included, it's to scale. Lewis here, tell us what exactly you've done and exactly how to lay this out.
So what we ended up doing first is we went from this, cut out all the excess paper. We cut out the inner part, which you're actually gonna cut out. Do remember, base it on, if you're in the US or you're outside, everything is labeled up here. We're in the US, so we're using the US spec template. What we're gonna do is use that cutted template and we're gonna go against this hard body line. Best way would probably be start from up here and then run your finger down. This is the line that you're gonna follow. It goes all the way down through here, all the way up to the black trim right here. We get the bottom part, lay it against this hard line as best as possible, and then follow the curve down here and go all the way up. And then that's basically how you're gonna set it up. If you wanna check over here, kind of see what we're talking about. If you see here, before we added the template, you're gonna see this curve here. That same curve is what you're gonna line up to the template.
The contours of the body lines is how the template was designed to match up against. The very corner is a critical point because that's where the vertical and horizontal contours meet. And we put a piece of tape over that. And then once you get this piece and the bottom piece, everything else is gonna line up fine. There's a little bit of give and play because all you gotta do is find the center hole. You gotta remember the duct is gonna be bigger than this. So it's gonna be one of those things as you do the center locations and then start cutting, you can always be conservative. You can't add, but you can always cut more. So that'll be the next step. So now that we've got the template laid out, let's get to marking the center holes and then we'll start cutting.
So we're gonna use a punch to make our centering hole for our M6 bolts that we're gonna put through the backside. That's what's actually gonna hold the vent to the bumper. So there is gonna be a little bit of bend in your paper. Don't worry about that. You gotta remember, this is a flat piece of paper against a curved area. What I'm gonna do is hold the holes down and then I'm gonna try to get it as center as possible. Hold the back of it as best as you can. I would recommend a punch. If you guys don't have one, you could always just use like a nail or something pointy and just kind of tap it in there. But if you have the punch, best probably tool for this. You can see here, there's like a curve. I'm gonna try to hold it down. Java is in the background. He's grabbing the back of the bumper so it doesn't fall off the table. And that's it. You got your 4 holes. We have it all marked up. And now what we're gonna do is remove this and then we can do the actual cut. I'm gonna start this off with a small drill bit. And then I'm gonna use a step-up drill bit after to get to the hole that we're gonna need. All right, so now we're gonna use a step-up drill bit. After I made our first pilot hole, we're gonna go all the way up to 9/16. I put a piece of tape around it so I know where to stop. I would probably recommend the same. I'm gonna start here. It's gonna start off at a 3/8, and we're gonna just keep going up until we get to the required hole. Remember to get some of the plastic off. It does get hot. You don't wanna melt it around. Now, don't go all crazy, you can go slow. It's gonna be the required size. And then I'm probably gonna go on the backside and just kind of clean up the end of it. But you're gonna do the same thing for the other 4. And then after that, we're gonna start cutting up the actual vent. The reason why I'm gonna go in the backside is when you start cutting it, the plastic gets really hot and it starts to melt around the area. So I usually like to go on the backside and just kind of get rid of that excess material. So when you're back here, you're not gonna have like to push all this back because you could see all this extra stuff back here. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. Some people don't do it, but I just prefer to have a clean hole. And you see even there's still some excess. And there you go. Now we can have the bolts perfectly aligned with that and no extra material. Okay, so I'm using a Dremel. Actual blade that I'm using though is a plastic. So I don't know if you can, this is specifically made to cut plastic.
One thing we recommend when you're cutting the bumper, especially if you're a technician or DIY, first time doing this, is to probably be more on the conservative side, and I would start with cutting on the inside of the line. That way you can kind of feel it, test it out, see how it fits. You can always cut more, but you can't add back. So as a precautionary, cut on the inside and then kind of work your way up to the line.
And let's start cutting this and then we'll go from there.
Great job cutting the bumper. This is now with all the painter's tape removed. And why don't we give it a final fit and
see the backside, how it's gonna come out perfectly?
Yep, we got all the bolts lined up. Now we're just gonna use the supplied hardware. We're gonna bolt it up. And as you make it tighter, the contour of the carbon fiber duct in the front is gonna become flush with the front side of the bumper. Albert, it's your first time seeing this as you come around the car. What do you think about the duct?
Looks great, man. I mean, I like the way it flows with the contours of the bumper itself. I like how flush it fits. I mean, not even my spoon lip fits that flush, but literally fits right on. I mean, the template, I had no doubt that it was gonna fit good. I mean, it looks good, it looks great. I mean,
yeah, so what's really nice, like I was mentioning, there's no double-sided tape. It's form fit to the bumper, and as you use the supplied hardware, the nut and the washer in the back, it just really hugs the contour and kind of gives you this really nice flush OEM plus look. So you guys did a great job with the satin clear to match your spoon lip. So again, that's an option if you want to take that upon yourselves to go do that. It does come in gloss. You can also get it painted in piano black. You can also get it painted in body color. So definitely different options for everybody who wants to customize a look to their own taste. We're gonna finish up the right side of the car and then we're gonna bolt on some of the oil coolers. Here on the right side of the car is where you have the windshield washer reservoir. We have to remove 3 bolts to get this out, and we're gonna include the low clearance CSF one. Louis, can you tell us where the 3 bolts are?
We got the first one that's right here, it's pretty visible. You have one back here behind the horn, that's right there. And then you have one hidden one behind the fender liner, that's directly right there. After that, which is gonna be the one right up here, and then we'll be able to slide out the entire reservoir down. So we're gonna unplug the harness from this connector here, and then we're gonna grab some needle nose, push this pin back, and now this disconnected. I'm gonna take the duct off now, which is gonna be this 10 right here, and then the 10 at the bottom right here. Either way, we need to take this off because we need to cut the duct. And then now we should be able to bring this down slowly. this hose that you have to remove from up here, this actually feeds the hood sprayers. And then there's a hose down there, which is this long one right here. You will have to disconnect it from the bottom because this goes to the trunk. That's going to be your sprayer for your rear windshield. So now that we drained it, we're going to transfer over the rubbers so we can use it on this cylinder.
Yep.
So we'll take this one out. And then this is going to go directly into here so we can put in our sensor for our level. And then this upper rubber for the neck is going to go up into this. There it is. Perfect. So then this part, we removed it just because we were kind of overfilled. So this is how it's going to set up inside the car. So now I'm installing the sensor back in. Just kind of wiggle it in. That's how it's going to sit. We're going to have to shorten this up a little bit because the reservoir is obviously shorter. But I'll still feed it up and then cut it all the way up there.
Okay, a little bit more.
And we're going to use one of the original mounting positions. We're going to grab the 10 with the washer. And we'll go back up there, we'll put everything back, and we'll shorten this line up a little bit.
The new CSF reservoir is installed. This is going to make room for the engine oil cooler that's going to sit right here in front of the fender liner. Because of that, you have a lot of excess slack in the windshield washer fluid hose. So there's two ways what you can do. You can either loop it up behind the reservoir, just tuck it away, or you can cut it to length to make it look like a little bit more of a cleaner install. So we recommend cutting about 10 inches of each off each hose, and that'll give you like a really nice clean look. So there's two ways to go about it, whether you want to cut it or if you want to keep it OEM length and just tuck it and hide it away.
Kind of just gonna measure it up so it can sit flushly against this. Okay, that's it. Now I just gotta shorten this one down here and pretty much good to go. Just gonna give it a little bit of slack right there. Now that I have all that done, I'm just gonna lock up the bolt. And that's it.
So we just put the windshield reservoir in, and the next thing we're gonna do is we have to trim the brake ducts. We just took these out. There's two 10mm hex bolts that removes the brake duct, and we have to do what next, Morris?
So I took a digital caliper. In the instructions given by CSF, it says 50mm. If you look at the picture, it says around the turn radius of the actual brake duct. So I went from there and measured 50mm and kind of scribed it with the actual digital caliper. There's a line here, and then I will trace this line and go upwards and match it across. That way it will clear the actual oil cooler.
Relocate the horn, same position, but we just have to flip it. So, Lewis, exactly what are you gonna do?
We're gonna just remove this 12 bolt right here, and then we're just gonna rotate this to the opposite side. That's it.
Next, we're going to put the fender liner louver. Lewis, what do we want to do next?
So from the inner brake duct, we're gonna measure from this rivet right here, and we're gonna go up 25mm and mark the hole there. From there, we're gonna start making the first insert, and we'll grab the louver and then start making the additional holes going this way. Make sure that the vents are sticking out towards the wheel. We're gonna use this hole that we marked here. Add it as close as possible to here. We're gonna mark these other holes, drill them out, and then we'll make a square in the middle, cut that all out, and then that will be able to release all the hot air back into the wheel well. We're gonna use an X-Acto knife to basically make the square here. That's gonna pretty much be the easiest way to make a good square. We're gonna grab our drill and then just make these holes first. We made the 8 holes. We drew our box, and I try to get it as much area so it can release as much hot air out of it. Now what I'm gonna do is grab my X-Acto knife and just cut the square out, and we should be good to go. That's all cut out now. Now we just put our screws in, that's it. And that's it, we're done. We're gonna remove this, basically this ABS sensor that goes here. We're gonna back this bolt out, and then we're gonna apply the new bracket that's provided with the kit. And this is basically just gonna replace this whole bracket here. This is what's gonna keep the oil cooler mounted. I'm gonna remove these two tents. We're gonna give the FJ bracket. We're gonna just now mount the ABS sensor back here, and they give you one washer and one 10 nut in the kit. We're just gonna basically put that on there, and that's gonna lock that down. So we mocked up the oil cooler first. We measured from the edge of the crash beam to here. It was gonna be 18 centimeters. And from here to this next hole, it's 34. And we just marked them. Now what we're gonna do is use the hole punch these two out, drill them out, and add the two rib nuts that's provided with the kit. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the step up, and we're gonna go all the way up to 7/16. So we're gonna use the provided rib nuts given in the kit, and then this is where the rib nut tool comes to play. I'm gonna insert them here. As you can see, we pressed it on now, and now you're gonna have a thread in the aluminum crash beam. There we go. Both of those are done.
So we just put the brake duct back on, and you know, this is one of those things where you might have to take it off and do a little bit more trimming just to kind of get around the oil cooler. So it's just kind of a install and check, take off, trim if you need to. Lewis and Morris took this out about twice, kind of got it around for the contour. It's in. All the oil coolers are in on both sides. The fender liners are on both sides. Windshield washer reservoir is in. So the last thing we're gonna have to do is the sandwich plate and connect all the oil cooler lines. So right now I'm under the car with Lewis, and this is the oil filter. And what you have to do is you have to remove that. We've already drained the fluid, so there's not gonna be a lot of oil coming out. But you remove this oil filter, and then you're gonna put this sandwich plate against the block. So we've already installed the dime PSI quick connect fittings onto the thermostat housing. And what's gonna happen is once this is installed, all you're gonna have to do is use the quick connect fittings and just push them on. And we're gonna wrap the lines in a series through both oil coolers. So let's get that oil filter housing off, and let's put the thermostatic sandwich plate on.
And this is the right amount of fluid that's supposed to come out, okay? Just to let you guys know. On the adapter, I'm gonna add a little bit of oil from the filter to the O-ring that's gonna go directly to the block, just so it has a good mating surface and it doesn't wrinkle or anything like that. We're going to screw this portion into the part where the filter would originally go. So I'm gonna take this off first, go onto here, slide that on, and then this is how we're gonna lock it down. The direction of it's gonna go, try to stay away from going directly onto the AC condenser. We're gonna try to give it a little bit of slack so we can just clip both of these on right here. And now we can move up to torquing this and then running the lines. On all the lines, we're also gonna lubricate all the O-rings before we install them.
So Lewis and Morris are behind me, and they're installing the oil cooler lines to the two coolers. And the kit comes with three pre-made oil lines. There's a short one that's gonna go from the oil filter thermostatic sandwich plate to the right side cooler. Then there's a long banjo to banjo fitting that's gonna go from the right side cooler all the way across to the left side cooler, and then another short line that's gonna reconnect back to the thermostatic sandwich plate. So the entire oil cooler system is designed to run in a series. So it kind of loops from the left to right and back to the plate. So they're just installing it right now. The two fittings that are gonna go into the thermostatic sandwich plate are those two quick connect fittings, and then there's banjos connecting to the oil coolers on both sides. They're really nice low clearance banjos, and that just gives you enough room between the edge of the oil cooler to the wheel liner. So one important note to make when installing these oil cooler lines is you wanna make sure that you're installing the lines over the brake duct, but below the accessory belt. We supply high quality Velcro straps that's gonna allow you to then strap the oil cooler line to the chassis away from the belt. You want to make sure that it is secured away from the belt. You don't want there to be any chafing and potential rupture of an oil line. That is a key point. So on both sides, the oil cooler lines are going to go above the brake duct and then below the belt.
We're gonna grab the torque wrench, torque it down to 33 foot-pounds. And that's it. After we torqued it, now we're gonna add our oil filter. We're gonna do a fuels filter. And just grab it in here. And look how perfect that goes in. Nice and snug on there. And there we go.
So Lewis and Morris are just tidying up with the zip ties underneath the car. So there's basically 4 placements for these zip ties. You have a extra large one that's right here next to the oil filter housing that connects both lines to the chassis. This is super critical because you want to keep this away from the belt that's right above it. And then right across the frame rail on the bottom, just put it in 3 locations. So 1, 2, 3, and that should keep it nice and secure. It's super tight. Us at CSF have gone, and thought about this and supplied really high quality Velcro strap zip ties. And the reason we did that was so there's no chafing on the oil cooler lines over time. So again, this is something that as you're doing oil changes, you're gonna wanna periodically check, just make sure the Velcro zip ties are tight and they're not coming loose and they're in good condition. So it's all done, super nicely organized, and that is the installation of the oil cooler kit. All we got to do now is fill up the fluids and put the bumper on. And here we are. Here is the completed dual engine oil cooler kit from CSF. We just put the front bumper on. Can't thank the guys here at Group N Garage enough for helping us out today. Just to give you an idea, this is about 8 hours of labor, so it's a full day's of work. We had Lewis and Morris working on this thing, so we finished this kit in about 4 hours. The satin clear ducts that they did to go along with their front splitter looks awesome. We have more information available at csfrace.com. You can see the full press release. We now have this step-by-step instruction video. We got a lot of information, a lot of content, so check it out, link in the description, and we'll catch you guys soon at CSF.